And this is Erika. So I just want you to know that we are a little bit different in heights. And so I have to have a stool when I stand next to her. Anyway, everyone, we want to welcome you to our training Zoom today. My name is Tammy Maltby Melchisedeck, and I am here with Rixie van der Merwe, originally from South Africa, and I am here in Colorado Springs, as is Erika at this point. And we're so glad that you joined us today. We love our business. We love growing our teams. And today we're going to really talk about how to grow your team effectively and how to build your business and how to reach out and do it successfully. And some of the things that Erika has learned, a lot of you know that she is a life coach. She has spent years training and leading teams and helping people to develop the skills. Who knows that when you start in this business, right? You start in this business, you will need to grow. You will need to change. You will need to get tools in your toolbox that you have not had before, because this business is unique. It's different. It teaches us the need for a different skill set. And so I always say this is the most amazing business. It's a self-development plan with a compensation bonus. So we are in the industry of changing lives and transforming people's lives. And the most important place it starts, it's right here. It's in your mindset. And so mindset is absolutely huge. So Erika is leading, thank you, is leading an incredible team in Southern Africa. And there's so much happening right now in SA, but this training is welcome to everyone, wherever you are, zooming in from Canada, North America, Europe, Africa, wherever you are seeing this. These are tips and truths on making your business more and more successful. If you want more success in your business and you want to see more PV going through your business and you want to see more brand partners joining what you're doing, I want you to put a 1 in the chat. I want you right now to make a decision. Is that what you want? Because a decision is everything. So if you want to grow and you are willing to grow and open your mindset, I want to see a 1 in the chat. See, look at all those ones. Yeah, because that's why we're here. That's why we're investing our time. And so Erika is an amazing trainer. She's got some incredible notes for you today. So I want you to set yourself up. And the way to do that is to shut off all distractions, if possible. I know some of you are driving, some of you have little children. I get the reality of life, but if possible, I want you to go to a quiet place, put your headsets on, shut your door, and absorb the truth of what she's going to share with you, because it will mean an increase in your business. It will mean PV that grows, brand partners that grow. So the more willing you are to be teachable, the more willing, or the more you're going to see the benefit of it in your business. So I'm going to hand over to Erika. I'm going to climb off my stool now. And I'm going to let her. And so I just encourage you, get your notebook, get a piece of paper, start writing these down. Remember, information is not power. Applied information is power. And today we're going to talk about application. So please welcome Erika.
Thank you, guys. And we're just keeping it real here, me and Tams. We're quite the pair, right? But thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for setting time aside to just journey with us, where we really create a space for ourselves as business owners. But I almost want to say, as leaders in the making, to just be real and chat about how do we build an organization, how do we build and put together and establish a tribe while we are exercising and growing in our own leadership skills, right? So this is what I want to focus on today. We have 2 outcomes with this training. Outcome number 1, and I want you please to write this down. I want you to understand the following. Leadership is relational. by nature. Leadership is relational. Now, how many of you have relationships in your life, whether it's a spouse or a significant other, children? We all have relationships. So if you have a relationship in your life, I want to tell you that implies that you are a leader of some sort. I've seen in my own team, so many people doubt whether they are leaders or not. If we all agree leadership is relational, then that implies that you are a leader. If you can build a relationship with anybody, you are a leader. So that is the first outcome that I want to achieve today, is to show you that leadership is relational and that you are therefore a leader. The second outcome I want us to have is I'm going to ask you 5 questions that you can use to measure your own leadership ability against. So you can use those 5 questions and see how is your leadership equity doing and what are the areas that you need to grow and develop in when you are building a team, or then we say a tribe, right? So that's kind of the way we are going to be steering the ship today. I want us to land in about 30 minutes so that if we have a few questions, Tam and I can try and answer them. But really the idea is just to be very real today, very transparent, and just to stimulate the whole idea that you are a leader and that you can grow in your own leadership abilities, right? So as an introduction, excuse my glasses. As an introduction, let's talk leadership and let's talk about why do we say leadership is so relational. And I want to go back to when I started. It wasn't at the beginning of my career, but I had an amazing opportunity to be mentored by an amazing business owner, a very successful gentleman. He was in his late 70s when I met him and when I started working for him. Very successful. He built his business from the ground up. I was living in Pretoria, South Africa, and this guy was just an absolute mentor to everybody that worked for him. His name was Alec Wapnick, very difficult man, but I just loved him. And he came into my office one evening. I was working late, and he sat down opposite my desk. He said, "Erika, my girl, I want to teach you something." And he said, "No matter what you do in life, Erika, whether you sell art, whether you sell a product, whether you are in management, remember this, it's all about the people. It's all about the people." And when Mr. Wapnick left my office that night, I wrote it down, and it has stayed with me for more than 20 years now, that whatever we do, it's about the people. I want to put it in context for you in terms of your business. It's not about the PV. Although it is about the PV, it is not about the PV primarily. It's about the people. So if we settle that, you guys, if we understand that everything that we do is about the people that we serve, then leadership becomes extremely important to us, right? So leadership is this. This is my definition for leadership, and you can write it down. Leadership is the capacity to influence people for a greater good or a greater cause. That is what leadership is. It's the capacity to influence for a greater good or a greater cause, right? If you influence somebody just merely to get a quick sale, you can even manipulate that situation. That's not leadership, right? Leadership is to influence people for a greater good or a greater cause. So in our context, that is what we're doing, is we are exercising influence, because what we are offering is a vehicle to freedom, a vehicle to financial prosperity, and a vehicle to improve your health. That is a greater cause, right? So that is why you can freely exercise your leadership within the context of your business, because we know we are adding value. we are offering something to somebody that can facilitate a breakthrough for them. So extremely exciting times to be involved with New Age. And if you are on here and you are not in New Age, you can still apply this to any business. You can even apply this to raising a family, right? Leadership is the ability or the capacity to influence others for a greater good or a greater cause. So guys, I want to then piggyback on that. If leadership is relational and it is about influencing for a better cause, then I also want you to write down the following. A leader is more concerned about people than about private ambition. Now, for some of us, that will be an amen, and for some of us, that would be an ouch, right? Because private ambition can sometimes get in the way of serving the people. If you are the kind of person that gets upset if I mention your name, if I don't mention your name, how many times I mention your name, you want to be the front row person, I want to tell you, you are most probably not serving the people. You are serving private ambition, right? So I want us as leaders to get over all of that, you guys. Get over the stickiness of wanting the front row seat in everything, right? Get over all of that. That's not what it is about. I will tell you, I have learned it's the guy who wants his name mentioned, wants to be on every Zoom, wants to have the front row seat that actually doesn't have the influence. It's the guy that is okay with coming in through the back and just doing his thing consistently. That is the guy with the influence. So as a leader, I want us to get rid of all of that. Understand it's all about the people. It's not about you. And sometimes you will have to pay a price for that, right? So I also want to tell you this. When we speak about leadership is relational, you cannot facilitate transformation without engagement. I will say that again. You cannot facilitate transformation without engagement. If you have a team of people, you are not engaging with them, newsflash, you're not facilitating transformation with them, right? You need to be involved with your team. Remember what we said, leadership is what? Will you type it in the chat box? What is leadership? Leadership is, it is relational. That implies engagement. So that implies being involved with your team, guys. It is relational. Thank you for that. I want you to understand how important relations is when you are a leader. It's all about relationships. And if you grow in your ability to be a better communicator, to build better relationships, your leadership skills will automatically increase, right? We sometimes think leadership is, I am in charge. I say, and it happens. That is fake, you guys. That's not what leadership is. Leadership is the capacity to influence people for the greater good, right? That is what we are talking about. So, guys, we can summarize the intro. Relationships is key. If you can build a relationship, you're a leader. So all of you are leaders. Can we grow in it? Absolutely. But please write this down in the chat box or on your note paper. I am a leader. Please settle that with finality in your own heart. Get that mindset going. You are a leader. You're not trying to lead. You are leading. The question is, where are you leading to? Right? You are a leader. So I want to give you 5 questions that you can use to kind of benchmark yourself against your own leadership equity. And I hope that this just kind of helps you to think about how you are doing within your tribe at the moment. The first question I want to ask you to write down, and if somebody can type it in the chat box for me. The first question you need to ask yourself, am I following? Am I following? What do I mean with that? Am I following? Thanks, Ant. Great followers make great leaders. I want you just to let that sink in a bit, right? Who are you allowing to speak into your life? Whose voice is a true north to you? Are you being led and are you following? Do you have a coach? Do you have a mentor? Do you have somebody that you are listening to that impacts your thinking in terms of leading your tribe? It's so important. Somebody who wants to lead without the ability to follow is dangerous, in my opinion. That is a recipe for an autocratic leader. And I want to share something with you. A few years ago, I was hired. There was a team. It was an American company functioning in South Africa. And I was hired as a consultant to come in and do an assessment of the team. The team wasn't functioning, they weren't hitting their goals, and they were at the point where funding was going to be withdrawn from them. So they hired me to come in and do an assessment of the team and kind of identify the areas of growth, implement a coaching program, and implement a training program for the team specifically. Within 30 minutes, I knew what the problem was. The problem was the chief of the party. In our terminology, it was the CEO. He was the problem. He had no relationships with anybody on the team. He was an autocratic leader who wanted his way at his moment, and he was not able or willing even to listen to anybody, including his head office in Washington. Now, here I am. I have to save this ship. And I'm working with a problem, and it's a man that does not want to hear anything from me, right? You guys, at the end of the day, he resigned because he could not grow in his own capacity to follow. It cost him his job. They would have fired him, in all honesty. And he read the signs and he exited graciously. But I want to tell you the damage that an autocratic leader can do if they don't have the ability and the capability to follow somebody. It's dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. So I want to encourage you, if you have a team of people that you are leading, make sure there is somebody that you are following. I'm a big encourager for everybody to join Coach Brent Palmer's Coach's Corner in the mornings at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. Even just that is a voice into your own leadership ability and capability that will steer you as a leader in the right direction. So also one thing, if you follow somebody, it breeds a sense of humility in you as a leader. Because what it actually says is, I acknowledge I don't know everything. I acknowledge I don't know how to deal with everything. And I acknowledge that I need to grow as well. So it keeps you humble, right? So please make sure that you are following somebody. If you are a leader and you are not following somebody, you are on a dangerous space, okay? Don't do that. Make sure you are being held accountable and you are growing. The second question that I want to ask you, and this is very important, am I an incubator for leaders to arise within my own team? I'll repeat that. Am I an incubator for leaders to arise within my own team? Think about that. Are you an incubator? Are you creating a space within your team for leaders to stand up and take ownership? Maybe you want to give me a number in the chat box, 1 being pathetic, 10 being great. Tell me, how are you doing with that? Are you creating a space for people within your team to kind of stand up as a leader? Tell me how you're doing, Judy. That's an honest 3 right there. Thank you for that. I think we can all grow in this area. Jerry, a 1, okay. That's an honest 1. I want to encourage you with this. Please write this down. You own no one. You own no one. And actually you owe nothing, right? We're stewards. That's what we're doing. Your job is to inspire, to motivate, and then release. Please write that in the chat box. Your job is to inspire, to motivate, and to release. Now, that's tough, right? Because your own insecurities as a leader will be revealed in this process. So if you have certain insecurities about your own leadership, it'll kind of show up here, where you have somebody in your organization that is a leader and they want to stand up, and you are saying, no, I want to manage you. I want to steer your ship. Guys, how can I say this nicely? Stop it. Stop it, right? We shouldn't be threatened by people in our organization wanting to stand up as a leader and creating a life for themselves, right? That is something to be celebrated. That's worthy of a celebration. So be the kind of leader that is an incubator for other leaders to arise. Look at your core team, you guys. Make a list of names of your core leadership and write down a gift that you have identified looking at your core leaders. If you have 2 core leaders, write down their names, and kind of next to their names, write down, what is the gift that I see this person exhibiting naturally? And once you know that, you create a space for that leader to grow into that area and develop their natural gifting. I'll give you an example of that in my team. I have a few people, they are incredible trainers. They have a natural ability and a natural gift to train. So the worst thing that I need to do is own every single training that my team puts out. That would be the worst move ever. Instead, what do? I identify giftings and I say, hey, I'll give you an example on my team, Fruan Landman. He's a financial planner. He thinks in terms of finances, but he's an amazing trainer. So to create a space for Fruan to serve his team and the greater team of South Africa, Africa, and maybe even the USA with his gifting, you know what I'm doing? I'm inspiring, I'm motivating, and I'm releasing. And that is so incredibly important, you guys. People want to be valued for who they are. You need to create a space as a leader where that can take place, okay? I remember when I did my coaching qualification in Stellenbosch, University of Stellenbosch, they said the following: a good coach will help somebody to reach a goal, but a great coach will eventually lose his job, because your job is to coach yourself out of a job. And that is the beauty of this business, you guys. You have the ability, you have the system, you have the structure as a leader where you can impart and create a space for people to own it and develop their own leadership ability. Right. If that makes sense to you, give me a thumbs up. I think that is good info for all of us to have. Thank you. Okay, so the third question I want to ask you: am I experiencing growth in my organization? Give me an honest answer on that. 1 being no, 10 being yes. Am I experiencing growth in my organization? In other words, are people joining my team? Are they joining me? Okay, I see a few numbers coming in. Okay, some of us are experiencing growth. Some of us are saying, no, I'm not experiencing growth. Some of us are experiencing a lot of growth. Okay, that is wonderful, but that's a good question to ask yourself. That is a leadership 101 question. Am I experiencing growth? I want to encourage you with this. There is a difference between knowing and doing. There is a difference between knowing and doing. Knowing what to do, but not doing it is self-sabotage as a leader. You have to identify what to do and then go and do it, you guys. Leaders are active, not passive. Leaders do not wait for a breakthrough to happen to them. They facilitate the breakthrough. So if you are not growing, you need to facilitate growth. You need to become the growth. You need to be the growth. You need to live the growth. You need to see the growth. You need to breathe the growth, and you need a growth plan. So don't wait for your team and say, oh, you need to enroll. Oh, you need to do this. What are you doing? It's one thing to know. It's something else to do. From knowing to doing. And what this does in us, it puts us in creative mode. The moment I take responsibility for my team's growth, it puts me in a space where I need to start applying my brain. I need to start thinking creatively. What do I need to do here? How can I develop? What posts do I need to do? How can I create engagement? It stimulates creativity in your own mind, right? And so I want you to think about that. How is your DMO? How is your goal setting? Get out from being passive and waiting for your team. Why don't you go and you start the momentum? Guys, we have two kinds of people in this world. Somebody who waits for something to happen and somebody who starts making something happen. I want to encourage you as a leader today. Be the catalyst of change. Don't sit on your little butt and wait for change. You become the change. You become the breakthrough that you want to see in your team. If we all adapt that mindset that I need to become the breakthrough, what will your team look like? Right? So don't wait for them to show up. Why don't you start showing up? Show up creatively. Start reading books. How can you do it differently? How can you re-engineer your business, right? So get out of a passive mentality and get going. Get your hustle on, right? One thing to do if your team is not growing, if you say, Erika, shucks, I'm battling, my team is not growing. I want to challenge you with this. How strong is your vision burning? Everything starts with your vision. If you don't have a team that has bought into your vision, you will not have a long-term team. If you are dim with your own vision, that's normally the first indicator that your team is not growing. You are not on fire for your vision. Brent Palmer taught me this. He said, set yourself on fire and people will drive for miles to come and watch you burn. Now, that is very important to understand. What do we need to be on fire with? You need to be on fire with a vision. What do we want to do? We want to influence people for a greater good or a greater cause. If you are not passionate about your own greater good or your own greater cause, go home. It's not going to work, right? You need to become passionate about that. And people will buy into that. They want to be a part of something. So make sure that you have bought into your own vision and that you are passionate about it. I'll give you an example with this. Before we launched South Africa, the vision was to launch. The vision was to be able for people to order products, awesome products, and be able to receive a product and receive commission. That was the vision, was to launch. Now the vision is still that, but it's shifted slightly. What is the vision now? The vision is to build and establish the New Age brand. And as a part of that, the hero brand, which is the products that we're using in SA. So what I want to tell you is your vision needs to change as your organization is progressing. You have to have the ability to define a vision. So because of our vision to establish a brand, what are we focusing on? We are focusing on getting products to people, and we are focused on getting transformation stories. Do you see how my vision is influencing my day-to-day activities? You need to think these things through, right? You need to design your vision and then let that order your steps. And one thing that I just want to add when it comes to growing your organization, be careful not to be so task orientated that you don't have fun. Make your team fun. And I want to take 2 people on the Zoom as an example in my own organization, my own team, and that is Franco. Franco has sent me a video this weekend of the hero product brand. Now remember our vision, right? Our vision is to build a brand, get products, get transformation. Franco sent me a video where he was doing a circus juggle with the hero products. Now, why I love that video is because at the end of the video, he dropped the hero products, right? But it was fun to watch. It's fun. We can have fun. Another person on the Zoom is Boitumelo. Boitumelo is doing an amazing thing on social media with a flat belly challenge. Boitu, I'm sure you're on here. The flat belly challenge. She's posting pictures of her belly and having fun, saying what the hero brand is doing for her. You know, I watch that and it's informative, but it's also entertaining. But you know what we're doing? We're actually completing our vision. We are building a brand. So guys, never be so business focused that you lose the beauty of the moment. Laugh a bit, have fun, and have your team have fun with it. The 4th question that I want to ask you is simply, am I protecting relationships within my team? This is a big thing for network marketing. Network marketing rises and falls on your network. Your network equals your relationships. So are you protecting relationships within your organization? If you know me and if you've worked with me, you will know I have a no drama policy. I do not do drama. I just refuse to go there. I'm sorry. But I go to great lengths to protect my team and to protect the relationships within my team. I have a golden rule because sometimes as a leader, you find yourself in a position where Peter is mad at Sarah and you are stuck in the middle as a leader. If you find yourself, or if you have found yourself in that situation, drop a 1 in the comment box, because drama is a difficult thing to manage, right? If you work with people, there will be conflict. Yeah, look at that. There will be conflict and you need to know how to deal with it. And I'm just going to share with you a practical tip on how I protect relationships and how I protect my own relationships with the team. This is my golden rule. If somebody comes to me about somebody else, the first thing I will say, have you spoken to Bill? Have you spoken to Anthony? If the answer is no, this is what I say. Okay, hang on. I'm going to add Anthony to this phone call. Oh my gosh, you should see the response sometimes when I do that. It's like, no, it's okay. I'll speak to Anthony first, right? Which is what I want. I want the individual to go to the individual that is causing the frustration. Guys, the number 1 thing that you can do to protect relationships in your team is clear communication. Clear communication. Make sure that people speak to each other about the good things and the not so great things. If it doesn't concern you, stay out of it. But encourage communication lines. I will always listen and try to answer a question. But what I will not do is be put in a situation where you are mad at somebody else and you are releasing all of that anger and frustration on me. I will not do that. But I will encourage you to go to that individual and communicate to that individual your frustration. So open and clear communication will protect the relationships within your team. Respect people, be nice to people, and refrain from emotional knee jerks. I'm going to talk to the women for a minute. Oh my gosh, all the ladies on the Zoom, have you experienced some, may I be very honest and say, bitchiness from other women in this business, right? In any business. But I want to encourage you, steer clear from emotional knee jerks. That is not the language that a leader speaks. What a leader needs to do is be stealthy. So if I have a moment, and I do get hurt, you guys, my heart is very small. I get hurt, but I go to Tammy. I have a safe space in Tammy. And just the other day, she told me that I had stinking thinking. And I had to be okay with her saying that to me because it was true. But I go to somebody where I have a safe space to say, hey, I'm hurt and I'm offended. But in front of my team, you will never see it. Because you want to be an emotional, stealthy individual. Do not be thrown by your own emotions. You will feel one way now, you will feel another way in an hour. But within 60 minutes, you can do damage that will take a lifetime to sort out. So refrain from that. Think it through, you guys. Have a place where you can process, have a safe space with an individual. Enjoy that transparency with that individual, but stay away from knee jerks. It does relational damage. People won't trust you. So I wanted to share that with you. Something else that Sam Gurovich taught me was, if you are in a situation where you are working with signing a brand partner, but somebody else on your team you find out is also working with that person. Sam Gurovich taught us this: remove money from the situation. Just remove it. So you know what? I choose relationship. And this has happened to me numerous times. It happened to me a week and a half ago where I was working with somebody through Facebook in South Africa. I have a weight loss story. I was working with this person for 2 to 3 weeks, and we were at the point where she said, can you send me a link? I said, I'm sending you the link. She said, well, I actually spoke to somebody else also that's using the product, and she wants me to order it too. That person is on my team. You know what I did? I said, then order it through that individual. And I texted my brand partner. I said, Merry Christmas. The deal is done. Send her a link she wants to buy. And you know what that did for my brand partner? She replied with, thanks for cheering me on. Thank you for working with me. Now, don't let people abuse that in you, right? Don't allow people to step on you with that, because if you work for a deal, you work for a deal. But I do want to tell you that there are certain times in a leader's life where you choose relationship before money. So that's how you protect the relationships within your team. And I want to end this question with the following. As a leader, I want you to discern between a battle and a war. Don't engage with every battle, especially if it won't allow you to win the war. Some battles are just not worth engaging in. I tell my peeps every day, you don't have to catch that ball. Don't you dare catch that ball. The energy that you are going to exercise catching that ball is taking your focus from what you should be doing. So I'm going to go to question number 5. Jim and Anne, I love you guys. I will go to war with you too. Question 5, let's start wrapping this up. Question 5, do I exemplify excellence in what I do? Oh my gosh, this is a big thing for you as a leader. Do you showcase excellence to your team? Your output is the showcase of your character and your work ethic. As a leader, Your work ethic and your character is important. Are you exhibiting excellence? If you put a Zoom together, do you have a professional flyer? And I'm blessed with somebody on my team, Yolandi Coopers. What she did is she designed for each team that is part of my tribe, she designed a packet with flyers that they can plug and play. So when we post flyers, it's professional. Guys, that's intentional. That doesn't just happen, right? So once again, we've utilized gifts within our team to put something out there that is excellent. When you host a Zoom, are you prepared? Are you ready for it? Do you understand when you host a Zoom, you have a responsibility? You have people putting aside 45 minutes of their time to listen to you. That is a gift. Never take that for granted. So make sure you're prepared. Make sure you look the part, right? And choose words of wisdom, you guys, especially on social media. I want to encourage you to add a level of excellence to your posts that you put out on social media so that your team looks at it and they are inspired, motivated, and released, right? That's the key. So social media has become the toilet for people's opinions. That is not what social media is. It's not a toilet, right? Social media is a platform where you can exhibit excellence. So make sure that your posts are of quality, right? Make sure it exemplifies something that your team will aspire to. I want to encourage you, make sure that your team is proud of you as a leader. Make sure that they say, wow, I'm so glad I'm on Erika's team. I love the fact that I get to work with Erika, Tammy, and Brent on a daily basis. That is a compliment to your leadership, right? So make sure you exhibit a level of influence. And I want to kind of wrap up this question with something that I grew up with. When I was a child, my mother used to have a shop. It was called Buttons and Bows. And I grew up in the era where we didn't give our kids pocket money. They worked for it, right? And that was kind of how I grew up. I had to work for money. And my job, if I didn't have sport in the afternoon, I would walk to the shop after school, and my job was to answer the telephone. And my mother taught me a rhyme that I had to say each time the phone rang. The phone would ring, I would pick it up, and I would say, Buttons and Bows, goeiemorgen, good morning. How can I help you? Hoe kan ek u help? 2 languages. She drove me nuts. She would stand right next to me and she would listen and watch me answer the phone. She would teach me to have a piece of paper and a pen. And I would say, Ma, why do I have to do 2 languages? I'm in Kroonstad in the Free State. They speak Afrikaans. Why can't I just speak Afrikaans? She would say, no, you don't know if that person is English or Afrikaans. You speak both languages. And you know what? She would even stand next to me and say, smile when you answer the phone. I'm like, but Ma, they don't see me. And they say, but people will hear you smile, Erika. And what she was teaching me was a level of excellence in the mundane things. Answering a telephone can be an opportunity for you to exercise excellence. So never despise a small beginning as a leader. Use it as an opportunity to exercise excellence. When you speak to somebody over a phone, smile. People hear you smile, you guys. People see your heart, they see your attitude. It's all about excellence. Excellence is not formed on the stage, my friend. Excellence is formed in private when nobody applauses you for it. So make sure when you lead a team, you're as solid can be. You are the real deal. And I want to tell you, there was a season in my life where if you live this way, if you lead your team this way, what I have found in the last 22 months was that your team will start to lead this way. And a few months ago, I'm sure many of you know this, I lost my dad to COVID at the end of August, and I also lost his wife to COVID 7 days later. And I will tell you, I could not do a Zoom. I could not. I didn't have the emotional capacity because I was in so much grief. But here's what happened. My team started doing the Zooms, and some of them are on this call. And they posted a schedule of all the Zooms that need to happen. And they started raising their hands saying, I'll do it. I'll do it. Jimmy and Ann, you're on here. Franco, you didn't even know how to do a Zoom, but you said, I'll do it. And you know what that is, you guys? That is the definition of a tribe. That's the difference between a team and a tribe. In a tribe, we care about each other. In a tribe, we facilitate change together. In a tribe, we help each other, but it's got to start with you. You are the leader. You set the pace. You dictate the culture of your organization. Don't blame it on corporate, for goodness sake, and don't blame it on your upline. That is diluting your own leadership voice. No, it rises and it falls on your own leadership. Leadership is more about who you are than about what you do. You don't even have to be super smart. You don't have to be the brightest pencil in the pencil case, right? But you do have to care. And if you care about people, they will care about you and about your vision. So I hope that kind of summarized the 5 questions that you can use as a benchmark for your own leadership abilities. Tams, I'm going to hand over to you.
Can I hear a huge congratulations for Erika? And that content was rich. Erika, look at the comments. I'm telling you, that was rich content. Thank you so much for sharing it and just applying. Remember, knowledge in and of itself is nothing. Applied knowledge is everything. So my encouragement today is to find courage, apply even 1 or 2 of these principles that Erika has shared with you, apply them to your business, to your new age business, and watch you grow and your team and your PV and your organization. And yes, your paycheck, because at the end of the day, we run a business to make money to provide for our families. And we want you to be very successful in what you are doing. So thank you, everyone. We also have another Zoom coming up, don't we, Erika? Have we decided on Wednesday yet?
It's still in discussion,
okay,
but we'll keep you posted on social media.
Yeah, we have a couple of other things that we're working on right now that'll be for everybody can join, your teams can join. And one last thing before we sign off, I want to encourage you, when these Zooms are presented, one of the most important things you can do is make sure, 1, that you're on, and 2, that you invite 1 or 2 of your team members personally to join, because the more people you have on your team learning and growing some of these principles that Erika has shared, the bigger your team grows. So again, we're all growing together. Start simply start and just begin the process. Don't be overwhelmed, but take 1 or 2 of these principles and apply them to your business. So everybody have a wonderful evening. And if you're in Africa, if you are here in the United States, have a wonderful afternoon, and we will see you all next time.
Take care, everybody.